Okay, we've got to talk about the NAZCA mummies. So let's talk about the actual bodies that we have of what appears to be NHI hybrids. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, I love doing updates on the NAZCA mummy story. This is UFO disclosure, guys. I just love it. This is amazing. We've got bodies, y'all. We've got bodies. KGRA UAP reporter says, my latest on the Peruvian tridactyl mummies. Here's an unreleased picture of the body known as Hoist. Very, very cool. Now, let's see, we have a statement from Josh McDowell, the son of Dr. John McDowell, award-winning forensics specialist from America who is studying the NAZCA mummies and has validated some of them so far as being genuinely tridactyl beings, not manipulated corpses. And Josh is saying, here are photos of metal implants in Hoist and Paloma. Paloma's has significant patination, green color, on the one on her chin. The Nazca and many other pre-Hispanic Peruvian cultures commonly use gold, copper, and tabanga in alloy for various artistic and decorative purposes. And he's sharing these images. You can see that amazing implant. Hoist and Montserrat had these amazing forehead implants, these golden implants. We don't know what those were for, if those were status symbols, or if they were functional in some way, because many of the implants that the mummies had were, in their bones and things, not visible from outside. So, not status symbols, but, the distinctive forehead implant, really intriguing. What were those for? What were those guys? Very, very intriguing. There's a new article from Times of India. What the mysterious alien mummies found in Peru were murdered. Now, I've covered some of this information before, but this is very interesting. The Nazca Desert in Peru, famous for its mysterious geoglyphs, has also become the center of a modern mystery that is among the most famous mysteries of the world. And it goes into the history of what we know of the mummies, what I've covered before. Were there violent ends to these mummies? Recent analysis conducted by Dr. Jose Zalche, former director of the Mexican Navy Medical Department, has brought forward chilling new details. And according to Daily Star, Zalche examined 21 mummified bodies and confirmed that 3 in particular, Maria, Montserrat, and Antonio, show signs of having died violently. Maria, believed to be a 5'6" female aged between 35 and 45 years old, showed clear indications of trauma. Zalche's examination revealed a deep cut and bite marks on her lower pelvis, along with multiple puncture wounds extending from her tailbone to her hip. He further said that the skin and fat in the area had been removed and 2 of her tailbone vertebrae were broken. A zigzag-shaped wound suggested she may have suffered a fatal fall. Zalche concluded that this evidence strongly points to a violent and traumatic death. That breaks my heart. In Montserrat's case, a CT scan uncovered a chest wound between the 5th and 6th ribs and fractures in the scapula and ribs. The positioning suggested she was upright with her back against a hard surface when she died. Apart from that, another notable conclusion was that Montserrat, like Maria, had an elongated skull and 3 fingers, as well as intact internal organs. Antonio's body, studied by Dr. David Ruiz Vela, former president of Peru's Medical Association, revealed a deadly stab wound. The injury was severe, Dr. Vela reported, with broken ribs and perforated internal organs, including the liver and abdomen. These are yet more pieces of clear and irrefutable evidence that these bodies are 100% genuine, real, and organic, having once been alive. That's heartbreaking that they may have been murdered. But who murdered them and why? There's an interesting post here. Let's see, where is it? I'll get to it in a moment. It is right around here. Wixie makes this great observation. Look at Montserrat's hands. Were they placed there to symbolize that she is pregnant with Raphael? Raphael, of course, is the fetus inside Montserrat, the tridactyl fetus inside the tridactyl being. Impossible to fake. Well, she's positioned as all the Nazca mummies seem to have been after death. They were placed in these ritualistic mummified positions as the Nazca people did sometimes with their own dead. So if they were murdered, who is placing them? Why would they be reverently placed in these ways? Possibly with Montserrat's hands over her pregnant belly. If they were murdered, how does that make sense? Are there different groups of humans doing different things? Maybe one mob, scared of these NHI, murdered them, while another group of people who revered them preserve them and mummify them and place them in these these positions, in this very touching position of Montserrat with her hands over her womb. Is that what happened? It's fascinating. It's disturbing. It's sad, but it is clear indication that not only were they real beings, but they were interacting with the humans of the time. Some ways possibly very positively, or at least that people held them in high regard and were mummifying them, and sometimes possibly very violently. So we need more information about this. This is very important. We have NHI, we have the bodies of NHI hybrids that were interacting with the humans of the time and met possibly some of them violent ends. Now, not all of them seem to have died violently, but there is evidence that at least a few of them did. So why was that? How did that relationship go wrong? Is it different, nations or tribes reacting to these beings differently? Some with fear or hate and some with love? What is the story there? And how deep does the interaction go? I came across a remote viewing not too long ago where they were remote viewing the Nazca lines. And yeah, they were seeing NHI involvement in the creation of the Nazca lines. Not directly, but they were directing the people that were creating the Nazca lines or giving them guidance or something. There was some sort of communication or impetus in the creation of the Nazca lines from NHI. Unclear if that has anything to do with the Nazca beings, the mummies, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was actually the creators of the beings, these hybrid beings. And if you're new to the topic, there's up to 5 or more species of Nazca beings. Some little guys, some slightly bigger, spindly guys with wings. We've got the ones like Montserrat. We have the 3 severed hands of the giant beings that would have been like 9 feet tall. We only have their hands. We've been teased that there is a skull, there is a head, a giant head, but they have not released any pictures of that. Very frustrating. I really want to see those giants. But anyway, did they have a hand in the creation of the Nazca lines? Well, apparently the Ministry of Culture wants to cut the perimeter of the Nazca lines by 2,300 kilometers for mining, according to Feminist Love Letter. These are petroglyphs, she says, fossils, and more there are petroglyphs, fossils, and more lines in that area. It's where the Yamagata University found part of hundreds of new geoglyphs. Could the Nazca Mummies site be at risk? So yeah, not only could they be destroying, the Nazca lines or some of the Nazca lines, but they could be imperiling the site where the mummies were found. And I've made multiple videos about that site, and Wixie is continuing to question, whether these images are legit. I think the images of the site itself, the citadel itself, is probably legit. I don't think that Tomb Raiders would have gone to the trouble of fabricating all of this stuff. But if these are legit, we have examples of alien writing, we have some sort of crazy pyramid. It's pretty nutty stuff. The implications of this, if these images are correct from the site where the Nazca mummies were supposedly found, the citadel, the lab, whatever we're calling it. You see these European style busts. I mean, what's that all about? And what about the images of the beings, even video of beings, even a mantis type being? Although I have new thoughts on if this is legit. I mean, it looks like claymation, let's be honest. And, you know, it's possible the Tomb Raiders, using the site of the actual location, wanted to jazz it up a little bit to sell some stuff on the black market by fabricating these images. However, you can see this guy's eyes moving. I don't really think that the Tomb Raiders would have gone to the trouble and expense of creating such detailed puppets, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. They, you know, and these, if the story behind this is true, this is a dying being that we're looking at. So very sad, very sad. And yeah, interesting. Yeah, anyway, so Wixie has a lot of questions about this. I actually hope to talk to Wixie because he's interviewed some of the researchers, and Wixie is one of the only other people out there besides myself who are really continuing to discuss the Citadel, and particularly these images and videos we have of the Citadel. We need answers on this because this, you know, a lot of these items have been sold on the black market, we have been told. Even some of the bodies and beings have been sold on the black market. And they were interacting with these beings, some violently, again, more violence associated, you know, from humans directed at the beings, if these stories are true. So, yeah, we need answers on all of that. We need to know if these things were sold on the black market, if they can be recovered. But, you know, one of the takeaways from these images is that if this stuff has been sold on the black market, then these images may be our best glimpses into the, you know, the intact citadel. You know, we're never going to get the intact citadel again because so much stuff has been sold on the black market, which is just really disgusting. You know, look at the breastplates and the crowns and stuff. It's just heartbreaking. But hopefully things like the pyramid is still there, and you can see some of the architecture. And I've gone through all these images before and shown these videos multiple times. But yeah, we have possibly, you know, language written on the pyramid. Yeah, it's just fascinating, the stuff that was supposedly found at that site, if these are legit. So we need to know if they are legit, because there's huge, you know, ramifications if these things are real. And there's amazing things to study, like the pyramid with the alien writing on it, if that's what it is. So we need answers. We need to know where the site is, and we need to study it in an open and transparent way. How exactly that could be achieved is the question. So let me know what you guys think about it all in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, grab a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store, or become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel. I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.